Let's see, there's Ken Johns from Midland Hearing Associates, Randy Spears from Ambush Pest Control, Renee Kilburn from Homestead Senior Care, Lou and Fern Frost from Overhead Door Company, Calvin and Charlene Metz, wait a minute, Calvin's not here, but Charlene Metz from Metz Plumbing, 732 Drip, they're here, Dave Lee from World Vision Home Entertainment, and Wayne Kirby from Carpet One, and I found out at the last minute that Freddie Barnes and his wife Janet, they're here from Barnes Jewelers. Did I leave anybody out? Oh, yes. Oh, this was definitely a last-minute thing. Robin Hudson from Hudson Smokehouse Barbecue. Have y'all ever tried his barbecue? He's here somewhere, right over there. And also, now I have a whole bunch of other advertisers that didn't make it. One of them is Carolette Cromer Turner. She owns Cromer's, and she had to be out of town, but she wrote me a dynamite poem about this convention, the broadcasters and me, and I don't have time to read it here tonight, so I posted it on my website. You'll find it on Woody2.avi.com, and I hope you people get a chance to check that out. Now, the people that I'm working with right now on the radio, they're here tonight, and they are the best ever. My partner in the morning is Ray Allen Lewis, Jr. Yeah. Ray and I, Bill McElveen just threw us together about 8 years ago, and he was only 21 at the time, and he is so sweet and so naive that he makes me sound smart. I like that about Ray. Then there's also Captain Telegram. He's here. He works tirelessly to keep the traffic flowing on my show. Mike Steinhelper, the best sales manager I've ever worked with. He's not here tonight, but and then there's Janice Shull, the world's greatest salesperson ever. She's here somewhere tonight. Yes. And then, of course, Ed Noyes, our chief engineer. I figured I need to mention him because maybe I'll be able to get that third microphone in the studio. Been asking for 8 years. He said he's working on it. And last, yeah, he's an engineer. And last but not least, Bill McElveen. He's been my boss 3 different times at 3 different radio stations. 2 of those times it didn't work out quite so well, if you know what I mean. But I honestly think that he is one of the best radio guys that I have ever known. And he and I went down to the Hall of Fame this morning. He is a member of the Hall of Fame. So is his father. And we visited. He showed me all around and explained who everybody was. And I noticed that I don't know the people in the upstate. I don't know why. Something about Columbia. We communicate with Charleston and Myrtle Beach and Florence. But we don't mess with the people in the upstate. But there's a lot of them here tonight. And he pointed out each one of them, told me who they were. So thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. So he's in the Hall of Fame, and rightfully so. Bill is the one who nominated me for this award. And then they got letters of support from Mayor Bob Coble, and also Columbia radio legend, he was at the time. He now is a South Carolina radio legend, Harold Cat Daddy Miller. He wrote a great letter to also. And since they told me about this award, I started writing a brief history of my radio career. It was going to be brief. It's now 48 pages. And I'm going to post that on my website, too, if you'd like to read it. And it's pretty interesting, I think. So, but anyway, while I was doing that, while I was writing this thing, I never realized how many cool things I've done. I mean, really, and then when Leo was talking about it, I'd forgotten about a lot of that, but I really have done a lot of good things in radio, and I got so excited about it when I'm writing this narrative about my career that I actually think now that the first 50 years is just the first 50 years. I promise you, if I live long enough, I'm going to be on the air another 50 years in South Carolina. And also, I would like to dedicate this to my mother. She passed away a couple months ago, and I'll never forget. I was 19, sitting around the house collecting unemployment. And my mother said, Woody, get out of the house and go get a job. And here's what I want you to do. You've always wanted to be a disc jockey. Get out there on that highway and hitchhike into Darlington. Walk into WDAR and tell them you've done it before. And they'll hire you. And because you're such a good liar, go do it. And that is exactly what I did, and it worked out exactly like that. I walked in, I lied to them. I told them I worked at a bunch of stations. They put me on the air that day at 3 o'clock. Right by myself. I was the only one in the building. I did the show for 3 hours, signed off. Didn't know you had to turn the transmitter off, though, but I left there at 6 o'clock, hitchhiked back home, and I walked in the house, and my mother was sitting there, and I said, Mother, I did it. I did it. I was on the air today. Did you hear me? She said, what? I said, yeah, I went into WDR, and they gave me a job, and I did a 3-hour radio show. Didn't you hear it? And she said, I hate that radio station. Thank you very much. Thank you.